Hello everyone, it's Christine here and I'm back for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, and we've got a new prompt for the month of May, which is to create a slow stitch box. So I happened to glance at the video last night as I was going to sleep, and I was thinking of ideas all through the night while I slept and also while I drove into work today. Now normally when I go into the city I'm quite exhausted, but tonight I've got all the energy and all the enthusiasm, so I'm jumping on to make a little video and to prototype what I want to create. So what I want to create, and I want to share it with you in case you want to follow along and stitch along. It's a design that's come out of my head, so it's not a copyrighted design, so feel free to take it, adapt it, use it in whatever way you want. But my idea is to create a little house-shaped box with an opening lid that you can store all your lovely sewy things in. I'm making it about the size that it can sit on the little window sill in front of me. I can always shift it down when it's particularly sunny, but it'd be really handy to have something there. So I've come up with a little prototype design, and I'll show you in a moment how I folded and created the pieces for it, and also how I'm planning to have the pieces to work on. I'll also talk you through what I'm thinking for decorating it and adding the slow stitched elements, also what I'm thinking for lining it, and I'll give you some other ideas if you don't want to do the way that I'm planning to decorate it, a different way that you might want to decorate in slow stitch style. So let's take a look at the box first. I'll then show you how I put the box together, and then we'll move on to decoration. So it's a quite simple design, I guess. If you think of maybe like a tissue box, it's probably actually pretty similar. I didn't measure it against the tissue box, but it is probably, this one's just slightly smaller, but that would kind of give you a bit of a sense of scale if your tissue boxes where you are about the same. That's about the size that I'm planning to make mine, but it was sort of a fully adaptable design. Or likewise, if you are using a piece of scrapbooking paper, which is what I used for mine, you can obviously just do it on scrap cardboard as well. I just had this piece which had a bit of a crease in it, so I used that. And it's going to be an opening lid. Now I can either at the end decide whether I want the lid to be fully opening or whether I want it just to open on one side of the lid, but something I'm going to incorporate is this component to help give it strength to hold the lid up in its liddy form. Once it's created, it won't sit up like the paper is, because it will actually have the weight of the structure holding it in place. And I've chosen with it to have the roof overlapping at this end and at the other end, but to have this bit of the roof come down to where, actually I'm thinking if it is going to open up, I might even make this side of the roof just slightly longer, so it's got a bit of an eave on this side, although then it won't be even. No, I think I'll keep it the way it is so that the lid just comes down and just meets with the side. I think that's good. So what I will do is show you how you can create one of yours at home yourself as well. So I'm just going to take another bit of the scrapbooking paper, and let me just I'll put that over to the side there. So what I did was just fold my scrapbooking paper approximately in 3. So you can kind of just fold it a little bit and see if that's about right, and then fold it a bit more. And again, this is just going to be approximate. If you were really struggling with this, with the design, even after watching the video, let me know, and I can always, sort of draw you up a design and load it on the little Facebook group that I've got, or share it in the Roxy group. So let me know if you're struggling. So once I've got it to that point, I use then the line to fold against on the other side. And what I'll do when I'm creating the final piece is I'll cut from like a heavier weight cardboard, but this will essentially be my template, my stencil, etc. But just working out first of all that I've got the dimensions that I want to have. So I think this has ended up pretty similar to what we created in the first. Yeah, it's about the same. And then what I then did was folded in one end of it. So this is, yeah, standard scrapbooky paper, so it depends what size your cardboard is, but if you want to use some scrapbooking. And then this end, you just want to fold it so that that will become the end, the square end of your house. So whatever size you want and whatever sort of, height you want that end bit of the house to be. So we can do it something like this. There we go. And then I cut out these bits. Left here. These aren't my fabric scissors, these are paper scissors. So that's one end, and so then this can become our other end, and this one we can fold in half. Fold in half-ish. Trim that down so that it becomes trim that into half so you get two triangles out of the square. And then have to check if that will be about the right size. Might need to actually make this slightly bigger. Nope, that's the right size. I suppose it does end up that way. I was just thinking, oh, did I get lucky on my first one? But no, it does actually end up being the right size. That's how geometry works. I guess when you're not cutting absolutely precisely, like you could rule this all up if you want, but I'm really just wanting to show you the method. So I will grab my tape, which is now hiding from me. Where are you, tape? Could be a problem if I can't find my stick. Oh, there's my sticky tape hiding under fabric, isn't it? Because I brought over piles of fun fabric to show you. So I will stick down this end. And then I can stick down my little roofy structures. Because in the final design I'll have these cut out as entire pieces. I won't cut each of these separately out, so that's where your template will come in handy because you can trace around it. So and obviously, yeah, be as precise as you want with sticking everything down. And if you did want your triangles to be more pointy, you could always cut them out sort of bespoke for what you want. So that's that bit done. And then if you want to see how your house looks, you can stick it together. I usually just put sticky tape on one side and then sort of get the piece where I want it and then fold it over. But again, we're not aiming for precision. When we come to actually put it together, we'll be stitching our pieces together. So I hope you're having a great day. I hope if you're following along with Roxy, or if you've stumbled across this video, then I hope you're feeling inspired and excited. I think this is I don't think this is going to be a hard project, and you can kind of do it as decoratively or not decoratively as you want. I think I might end up making, if I've got enough time, I'm always over ambitious with what I can get done in a month, but I might even make a few different varieties of these because I think it's a really cute idea. Wouldn't it be cute to have a little village along your windowsill? And you could of course make these even smaller. I think this is going to be a good size for the particular type of decoration that I want to do with these. That one I don't think I stuck on that well. so that will be that, and then you'll grab another piece of, if you're using old scrapbooking paper, and I just, you could just fold it whatever pitch you want your roof to be, or you could line it up with your piece and get a more precise fold, because I definitely don't need that much, so it's about there, I think. So let me just refold it. So just make it a bit less. Now, if you did want to have it hang over more at the eaves, it's just you'd then, you'd probably still leave this one joined on, because you need something that you can sew along this seam. That's why I've had them just line up exactly here, but then have the eaves overlap at the ends. But I might even, when I finish the design, I'm thinking I'll probably put some lace or something like a lace work along there, so that will even hang down a bit further anyway, so you'll get a bit of an eave sense of it. So before you trim it down, just make sure it's at least long enough, and I'll still need to trim it a bit more once it's on the house. So I'll just make my crease go fully down. I'll then cut along here. And again, you could use a proper guillotine or anything that you want for cutting, but it's all going to be sort of stitched, so it's not going to be precision. And so yeah, if you did want to have a lid that just sort of comes off like that, you could actually have the longer eaves on it. But if you want to join it on like I'm thinking I'm going to do, then you'll want to trim it down so that it is only basically up to about there. So I should probably, let's just measure it like this. So you really just want to lay it along one side of your triangle, and I can see it goes up to about that line of dots over here. And so let's just cut along that line of dots. I could have also folded it. If you don't have a line of dots, again, you'd just fold it along that line. Do that on one side, make sure I'm happy that it is going to do what we want. Yep, happy with that. And then you'll just need to work out how much you want your eaves to stick out on either end, but I think somewhere about like that. So again, if I don't want to follow along the dots, I can just fold my card over. Trim down my other side as well. So you just use the one side as a guide for how much to cut your other side down. And so that will then be the top of my box, and I'll have that little bit of eaves either side at whatever amount of eaves that you want to have. And so then you'll have, when you're finishing your piece, you'll be attaching your roof on one side. Oops, I've really done a bodgy job with my sticky tape there. Let's try to do a slightly less bodgy job, Christine. So just sticking that down. As I say, when we put it together, we'll actually be stitching it together. But yeah, that will come over to where your box is. And as I say, I'll probably end up having a bit of lace or something there. Or if I do decide I need a bit longer piece for the roof, I'll probably work on making the base bit first, and then work on the roof component second, just to make sure then the roof component is big enough to cover even once all the fabric etc. is done. So that's what I would suggest if you're going to make along. Do the body part first. So in terms of how I will then, let me take this one apart to show you what sort of I'd be tracing around in terms of my templates. So for the roof, which we will come to as a second component, I'd probably make my 2 roof components separately and then do stitching along them, because that way it will give you the flexibility whether you want it just to sort of bend over like that or to bend all the way. I just think it'll give you a bit more bend than having a piece of cardboard and then having your roof continue over. Also with the decoration I'm wanting to do, mine will be kind of needing to be up a particular way on both sides. So ultimately I think my template will be 2 roof pieces. Just write that for my own benefit, if I can even see a pen around here. I always have pens, but now I can't actually see a pen sitting here. Or is it up on my, sorry, my windowsill is closed. Nope, I can't see where my pens have gone. Oh, there's a friction marker. That'll do the trick as long as I don't apply any heat to it. So I'm going to call this roof and roof. So they're 2 identical pieces, and then I can just either take my sticky tape off, or I can just cut down where my sticky tape is, which might be easier. Again, if you use that tape that's easy to peel off, you can do it that way. This is just a bit quicker. And so then this one, I think I will probably, again, do each of the pieces. I think I'll do this piece as one piece, the walls as a piece, the base as a piece, again, because I want to sort of get them sitting nicely at a right angle to each other and do that with the stitching. And again, then you get that nice decorative stitching around each of the edges as well. And I think it will be easier to work with as well. So I'll keep these ones, as I mentioned, I'll do them as an entire piece with the little roofy bit. And so that will be... so that's one of them's a base. And then we have 2 walls, and I've made them the same size. Wall and wall. And that's end and end. So that's your components that you need if you want to make this. And as I say, maybe leave the roof off to make your bits until the end, and make your base first, because then you can just make your roof the size that you want once you've got your structure in place and once you've seen how it's shaping up. So yeah, 3 pieces that are identical for your base and your 2 walls, your long walls, and then 2 pieces that are identical for your end, made up of a square and a triangle. So that's what will make it. I can even put my pieces in my no, I won't put them in there. They're not gonna quite sit. So in terms of decorating, now you could do a very I guess traditional slow stitchy style. This is a piece that I'm working on actually as a container inspired by a poem by a beautiful author, Mary Walker. I've actually got to give folks an update on that piece. And in fact this side I haven't done the slow stitching on yet, but this is just an example of how you can take quite basic fabrics and slow stitch them with all different designs on them, and you could do that for your house. So essentially something like this done at a slightly smaller scale could become the outer for your house. And if you really wanted to, you could even just do it as a wrap piece like this container that I'm making, and wrap it around an internal structure that you put in place. You could even take your cardboard and cover it with just like a basic fabric like a calico or something, and then you could have your wrap around it. So that's one idea. Or you could make these sorts of slow stitch pieces to cover each of your elements. So that's a scrappy slow stitchy style. But what I'm wanting to do for mine, and you might want to join in, is I want to use hexagons, so English paper piece style hexagons on as the bricks around the house. And then I want to use my clamshells and my clamshell guide to do the roof, because I think these will look like almost like little shingles, I think they're called. I've got some that have got glue on them because I did make that beautiful green pouch which I gifted to the lovely Lynette when we were together at the Fleur Woods workshop. I had some little pouches for the Roxy girls and yeah, for Lynette. It was so nice in Sarah's video that I was watching just before to see she had some of the wool that I gifted her from Carlund Yarns, and she's planning to use that in her project, so that was very exciting. So yeah, these little clamshells, you create them in an overlapping pattern, and so I'm thinking I will do them on each side, but as I say, I want to have them the right way up on both sides, so that's again a reason to do the roof as two separate pieces. So I can work on essentially what will become the covering for this piece, because I'll also need to leave enough overlap at the edges is the way that you need to work with these. So yeah, I can work on each of the preparing these clamshells and then putting them together ahead of actually yeah, finalizing the roof. But for the body of it, I'm wanting to use my nice little small Epiflex templates, not my tiniest ones. These are super tiny. Let me just show you how tiny these ones are. They are small. So I could definitely do it in that, but it's going to take a lot of these. Or I can do my next little size up, I think. Although as I look at these, I think they would be very cute, but I'm not sure if that would just be a step too far towards Madness. So I got, yes, I do have my next size up, which I've got some little samples of here. Again, they're the Epiflex templates that I love to use, not sponsored by them, just love them. So just as an example, and we'll have a look at some fabric ideas next up as well, but just as an example, I would use them to be the little bricks. So I think these are probably the absolute perfect size, because they're small, but they're not too small. And so again, with these, I'd need to end up overlapping them and folding some of them under just so they go all the way down, but then form a square wrap around. And don't worry, I'll do some further videos, but we can probably get started on a few things tonight. I'm not sure, we'll see how we go. But at least this starts to give you an idea of what I'm thinking, what I'm excited about. And the great thing with these Epiflex is you can make a lot all at once, and then it doesn't actually take you too long. It looks like it might take forever, but it doesn't take too long to start putting them together. And it looks like I've even got some in here that could go with the fabrics I was just pulling out, because some of these are the French General and Moda ones. Probably wouldn't go with that bright pink, but we'll chuck it on for now. So yeah, that's how I would be planning to create the bricks around the outside. So I think that's a whole lot of fun. And then yeah, creating the clamshells, and I can show you how the clamshells start to come together. We can probably, yeah, we'll see how we go time wise. That might have to be a separate video, because next up we'll take a look at the fabrics that I'm thinking of using. So I got some goodies in my birthday bundle from Chateau de Chantilly, which is another French general, and collections for cause etchings. And I wasn't even sure what this was, something and three sisters, but I can't see who the first one is. So these are the mini charm squares from Moda, 2.5 inch squares, but they're the perfect size for this size of Hexy template. I don't know if I've got some that don't have, yeah, there they are. Just to show you as well the difference in size between the tiny ones and these ones. Yeah, those are definitely very small. They're very cute to use in projects, particularly little like slow stitch squares and things. But I think, yeah, this size will be great. These have been very well used. They've got my Yoo-hoo glue on them, which is what I use when I'm creating them. But yeah, let me show you the fabrics that I'm thinking of, and then I'll show you that they're the perfect size for this. I usually try and keep the label with it, although I think I'll use a good number of these in the design. Let's get those ones open and these ones, because what I'm thinking is I can bring these two packs together because I think they'll be a good colour complement. Plus I've got some old ones from the Burgundy Bonheur project, I think. Just taking a look what else. I've got another design. I've got my bleu de France in there. What have I got in here? Oh yeah, that's my Bonheur de Jour. I thought I had some leftover ones from that pack as well, but they might not be in here. But yeah, that will certainly be another design that I think will go very closely well with this. I'm also thinking I'd love to use some of my little vintage Suffolk puffs as well. And I've got my little Suffolk puff maker that makes beautiful little tiny ones as well, so they could even be fun to add. So anyway, let's have a look before I get distracted through the fabrics and start thinking about which ones we'd use on the wall and which ones we'd use on the roof. So I'm thinking the nice florally sort of designs on the wall, because then it's kind of like almost like there's little things growing up. Just lay some of them out. That way you also get to see what. So this is the Chateau de Chantilly. So yeah, all these I think would be really great for the wall. And then I was thinking some of the more browny and grey ones, they could be good for the roof. So that's how I'm thinking of dividing them up. And that's a great thing about these packs. Everything coordinates, but you get that nice amount of variety. If I tried to buy this many, I'd be buying the entire range of fabrics to get all the little samples. And yeah, this is kind of all you need for some projects. And as I say, they're a perfect size for being able to cut out. I think I can usually get, do I only get 2? I'm just trying to remember how many hexes I can get out. Do I get 4 out of this? Or is it only my small ones? I think I might be able to actually, when I do them, yeah, nice and tightly, I think I actually get 4 hexagons out of a single charm square. So that's pretty good. So that one could probably could go down, I think, on the wall. I think if they've got, yeah, a bit more of this, bit more of the burgundy probably on the wall, and then because that's almost bringing in a bit of a brick tone, and then yeah, the pinks can be down here too, I think. And I think the pinks will then go well with the etchings pack, but we'll take a look at those in a moment. So yeah, such a beautiful design. I got these from Little Patch of Heaven, a regional quilting store that I order from, because they have very good prices on the mini charm. Again, not affiliated. I purchase all my own goodies from there, but yeah, just like to give a shout out to the little quilt stores out there. So that one maybe down there, and then I think I'll put the browns on the roof, because I think there's enough that have the greys, the browns, it sort of all coordinates together. It's very smartly done. That one could possibly be a mix, like that bit could end up on the roof and then that bit could end up down here, so I'll put it here for now. And or actually probably a clamshell. No, I think I'll put that one for the roof. Put this down here. Lots of nice ones. Aren't they beautiful? Just such gorgeous designs. They do a really good job with these. I love these. These are like the little, almost look like the little French fleur-de-lis. So yeah, that will be great for some of the Hexes. And then let's see how these ones might integrate in. I'm thinking these will work, but let's just see what's in the pack. Because although they've got a bit more, like this one's got a bit more pink, and it is bringing in the green, but I kind of want to have the greenery because I want to have that sense, as I say, of things growing up. This one's got like writing on it, but I think that could still be used on the roof. That could be a roofy one. I'll keep these two packs separate though, just in case I decide that I don't want to mix them all up, but we'll keep them close to each other so we can compare. Hopefully you can see that. This would bring a bit of blue in, so whether I use the bluey ones or not, I'm not sure. Might put that down. We can't see my other pile over there. Let's just move these a bit closer. And then I'll put this pile down here. But yeah, definitely some of these, like this one's just a great complement to that. And again, I do want to bring the greens in, so that will be a good way to start to integrate, because it does also have the brown, so it does go. I don't think I'll use the blue, so I'm going to leave anything that's got a bit too much or blue on it. I'll put that in the pile down here, and they can be saved for another project. And I know they'll coordinate well with another one that I've got partially used. Isn't this sweet? It's got little butterflies on it. But yeah, not the right colour tone, so I'll just skip through the bluey ones. Oh, but I do have to show you that one. That one looks really pretty even from the back. Isn't that lovely? So nice. And then yeah, these just go really well, so they'll be great. More writing. It's kind of nice then. It's almost like there's a little bit of graffiti or something on the wall. Nice old style script on the wall. Slightly more red, but I think again it will work, and I think that whole sort of thing of having bricks, I think that's going to be a good colour. I just want to have the wall contrasting from the roof. I don't want it to sort of all merge into one, so I think it will be good to split them this way. But then these sorts of ones, they can definitely go on the roof, I think. Use that sweet little butterfly fabric. That'll be another good roofing one, the paisley. And the main thing will just be spreading out the fabrics so that you don't have one of a similar fabric next door to another one. That's got the red in it, so I don't think I'll probably use that one on the roof. I don't think I want to go that grey in this piece, so I probably won't use that one. Again, do I want to use any of the ones from the back here? I think they're a little bit too grey, so I'll keep them down in my not immediately used pile. I've also got some that are Christmassy ones, but probably don't want to go quite that colour. Nor that one there. Let's have a look at any of my little partial packs. I've got the Promenade one here, which does have some ones that I could definitely use in the roof, so I'll grab those ones out as well. Hopefully you can see, probably can't quite see those. Oops, my house is trying to fall down. Some blues in here which I won't use, but probably not that again. It's got a bit more of the blue, and even this one I'll probably put down here because it's got the blue. But these more basic. Actually, I don't think I'll go bright white either for the roof, so no, I'll put those down here. It's got blue on it, so, but this one could definitely work. That one could work. These would bring a bit more green in, so probably not, and I just don't think it looks a bit more, not quite in the same style. Probably not this, because it brings a bit more of that yellow in. Probably not those ones. They're a bit more pinky. Wrong yellow. So yeah, there were a few out of that stack, which are over there. And then there's another pack here. I think I was making my little heart corner bookmarks. I think they're in that bag. I think I've used up most of this pack. I could use that, although it's probably not quite the right colour. So no, I don't think there's anything else in there, but we can then have a look in our Bonheur de Jour pack, because yeah, there'll be plenty to complement those too. Let me just get my scissors. I always struggle to get these little packs. They're so well wrapped for being posted. So yeah, these will be absolutely fantastic to add into the mix. Let me just move my roof pieces over. I might actually have to make this little house that I'm making a little holder for all my my charm squares that have been opened up. Keep them all in there. So yeah, these are going to be really great to go with it. The perfect colourway. I mean, it's almost, you'd almost think they come from the same collection. But then again, some good ones that I can use on the roof because they're just the right colour. Got the sort of off-white and the browny greys. This one's fine because it brings that nice little bit of green in. That one can be a roof one. Another roof. Another roof. So yeah, I just want to have plenty of variety, not too much repetition in the roof. And for the clamshells, I will need a whole charm square anyway. So I'll need a few more for the roof and then I guess because the walls, I've got the ones at either end as well. If I want to do those, I think I do want to do the hexagons all the way around. So all of these have the nice burgundy on them. But then another good one I can use for the roof. So that was just my belly digesting. Had some beautiful gyozas with some vegetable fried rice that I made and some edamame soybeans. And what else did we have? Oh, some little prawn toasts. They were just like a supermarket boxed one. They're not as good as when you get them at the Asian restaurant. So these are slightly more pinky, but they actually go okay with that colour there. these ones, yeah, go beautifully. So they're fabulous. But again, I'll keep all my sort of burgundy ones for the walls, and then I've got a pretty good stash. I can start with that, and then I'm sure I'll find some other ones in my collection. So that's the plan for those, and then I'm thinking I will do a lining inside the box, and I was thinking it might be kind of fun. I think this is Tilda fabric that I got in my little birthday stash. Could be fun to use this, whether I'll have enough. Let's just say if you do want to work out whether you'll have enough to do like a lining, I guess I'd need to, let's just go the full way out. So I could, for example, and you need to leave a bit of a edge around, because what I'll end up probably doing is folding the fabric under and then stitching it onto the front piece that I decorate. So essentially I'll have an internal and then stitch all around the edges with this folded under and with the front piece folded under, because the hexes I'll need to be folding the edge of those, so each piece will fold under and not have any raw edges. So these would need to sort of have about that much, and then the base would need a bit of room around it, and then a wall and a wall, and then the roof, I guess I might end up needing to use a different fabric for that, the inner of the roof, but I've got this one as well, so I could even use this one for the base and for the roof, and then use this one for the walls, or I could just yeah, use this one just for the inner of the roof, or I can use something else. I don't think I'll do the full hexes on the inside, so that's a thought, and I do think this would go quite nicely. It's sort of in the same colour tone, and I think it's kind of cute to have houses within a house. And it's a good use of this size of fabric, and I'd still have a few little bits left to make some hexes out of as well. Otherwise, I do have some other lovely ones. I actually have the ones also that I'm yeah, doing as my little giveaway. You'll have to find the right video where I've shared my little giveaway in the video. I never put it in the comments, but I am doing another little giveaway of some of these fabrics, and even something like this, which is from the Rendezvous range. That could be quite lovely as a inner also, because then it's almost like a wild garden growing inside your box, and there's a few good coordinating fabrics for that. So that's my other thought. I will ponder on that as I'm stitching, and then there's ones that are a bit more green. So yeah, good thought. These pieces are, I think, the 1/8 size pieces, so I'd need 2 coordinating ones to get the whole piece done. And again, I got these ones from Little Patch of Heaven as well. So that's the design, and that's the fabric selection. I can quickly show you how one of these, how I do the hexes, and then we'll come back and do the clamshells, because it's a little bit more of a complicated process. We can do that in another video, but I'll just show you my quick and easy method for how I at least start off the hexes. So let's say we wanted to do it on this. Let's see if I can actually get 4 hexes out of one of these. If I am going to do that, I will sort of finger crease it. To get as close to an even pieces. Get my proper fabric scissors that we never use for paper. Cut that into 4 little pieces. So I think it is going to be just the right size. And so then I just cut around. So you just want to have an even margin around it as much as possible. You can leave the little crinkly edges that are on the charm squares if you're using charm squares. Again, I keep even my little cornery bits because they go into my little micro mosaic jars. Let me grab a piece of my scrap paper to work on. And then I use Yoo-hoo glue. And I just put a little bit on the sides. You can just do a thread basting, but this is how I quickly do it because I can get a whole batch kind of done and then stitch them together. And then I just work my way around in one direction. It doesn't matter which direction you go. Folding over the edges and making sure I get those nice crisp corners. When I've got it to that point, I press it down and then I set aside to let it dry. And then once it's dried, I like to get my, I'm just trying to look where my knitting needle is hiding. I really do need to give the desk a bit of a tidy up. I haven't got a knitting needle. I have a stick that's probably not going to be quite the right size. I'm just having a look what else I've got that I can use. I reckon I can use the end of a paintbrush. Will do the job just well enough. So this is just like one of the other ones that I have done. Let me get one that might be good to do. So what I would normally do is, stitch them together and then take them out, but I just want to show you how you can basically use a little end like something like this to loosen your edges, and they will come up. The Yoo-hoo glue will release itself without harming the fabric. Now you would normally have these all stitched in so that the pieces would sort of stay in shape, and I do like to use a knitting needle because it's just got a tiny bit of a pointier bit, but it works perfectly well to just release these bits. These ones have been sitting for a while with the Yoo-hoo glue, so they've and then I'd like to have something that I can stick underneath because these Epiflex have a handy little hole, and you just go around and just get the template to release itself, and then you take the template out. Now if you've stitched it all together, it will all be sort of holding in place, but as you can see, even here it's still keeping its shape, even though you've flicked out the template. But normally, I'll show you in another video how you stitch them all together. So that's going to be my plan of attack. So before we come back together, I will cut out my base and wall pieces, and at least have them as the template to know how far I need to go with my hexagons, and we can work away on that, and I'll do another video to show you how I'm tackling the roof pieces as well. So I hope that's given you some ideas. The other idea I have that I'll do this month if I get time is inspired by this beautiful little postcard card set that has just such gorgeous designs from the Victoria and Albert Museum and William Morris designs. And so it's like a little miniature book, so it kind of looks like a book on the outside, and then I'm just thinking this would be lovely to do as a sort of a fabric covered box style, and probably something about this size might be fun. So that's a second thought, but I'm just really excited by my little house idea, and I thought you might like to join me in that. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.